Hi, I'm Don, and this is The Hobbyist Geek. Today we have a very special issue. This is actually going to be my very first Transformers issue, and what we're really going to be doing is Devastator versus Devastator. I am thoroughly excited about this, and I'm not going to waste a whole lot of your time with speeches, so let's just get into it. Alright, we're going to begin with the Combiner Wars G1 Replica Devastator. This is an interpretation of the original 80s cartoon Devastator, my personal favorite Devastator, and it comes with these 6 figures. We've got Scrapper, Hook, Bone Crusher, Long Haul, Mixmaster, and Scavenger. And you can see, for the most part, these vehicles are pretty solid design. They've got a little bit of weight to them. The green color, it's a little off. Most of the vehicles at the time, and I think even today, are more yellow than green. But all in all, it looks wonderful. The one big issue I've got with their vehicle modes would be Mixmaster here, as they kind of reversed the cement mixer part of the vehicle. You should also note that I have added repo labels to my figures for a little extra detail, but I really think it just makes them pop. And here we have the Studio Series Bayverse Devastator, and this one is actually made up of 8 figures instead of the original 6. This one's got Scavenger, Hightower, Long Haul, Mixmaster, Rampage, Scrapper, Overload, and Scrap Metal. Now these figures, in their vehicle mode, I'm a little less impressed with. I mean, if you take a look, you can see, straight down in, you've got the giant wheel there. In Long Haul's case, you've got his arms showing in the bed of the dump truck. So some of them, on the other hand, do come out quite well. A little issue getting it to snap together there for Mixmaster here, but otherwise a decent vehicle mode. Taken all together, you can clearly see that these Studio Series ones go more for realism versus the cartoon origins of the G1, and that only makes sense considering where they all came from. So I personally prefer the G1 set in their vehicle mode. I think it's a more solid construction, easier to play with. But if realism is your thing and you're willing to overlook some of the glaring issues that I pointed out earlier, then the Studio Series is for you. And here we have the Combiner Wars G1 models in their robot mode. And I'm very impressed with these. They're very, very reminiscent of the 80s cartoon, which I absolutely adored. It takes me back like you would not believe. There are some issues. We'll take Long Haul, for example. See, he's got no real elbow joint. His arm will come out like that, which is weird, but you can't bend or twist at the elbow. So these figures do have some posability issues, and no real weapons to speak of. They do have the accessories that form Devastator that are supposed to be their weapons, but it just looks weird when you use them. And I haven't really been able to find any cartoon counterpart for using those as weapons. But all in all, these are quite nice, detailed little figures. You can see all the little detail all along his chest here. Not all of this is repo labels, just little things like the little red sticker there and the shine on the eyes. But lots and lots of detail on these. And they are quite large. And here is the Studio Series Bayverse Devastator in their individual robot modes. And this is kind of hit or miss. I mean, in some cases, like long haul here, you've got what I believe is an incredible robot mode. I mean, you've got an absolute ton of detail, and he just looks very menacing, very imposing. And then you get things like scrap metal, and it's, you know, what the heck is that? That just looks ridiculous. I don't understand it. From a posability standpoint, these things have a lot more articulation to them. You've got lots of various joints and posability options, and it's just very, very incredible. I'm very, very happy with the posability on the Studio Series line. Alright, when you put them all together, you can see that the Studio Series line has a variety of shapes and sizes, whereas the Combiner Wars G1 Devastator, they're all basically the same size. Because of the posability and the variety of the Studio Series, I'm going to give them the edge in the individual robot modes. So we're 1-1, guys. Let's get to the main event. And here we are. Devastator versus Devastator. And both of these figures are just absolutely incredible. The G1 Devastator here, as you can see, is significantly taller than the Bayverse Devastator. A little more plain, you know, all green, but an incredibly accurate representation of what was shown in the 80s cartoons, and I absolutely love him. Brings back so many memories. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful figure. The Bayverse Devastator, by modern standards, is a bit more imposing on a visual level. He's not quite as screen accurate as the G1 Devastator here. He's got a number of little issues, and one thing, the left foot here, this is Rampage when it should be Skipjack, which is basically the same figure but redecoed as yellow. Skipjack is supposed to be released in October of this year, so I'll be getting him for a more screen accurate appearance, but obviously Rampage works just fine as his left foot. Now, from a power perspective, I'm going to have to give that one to the G1 Devastator. I mean, this guy in the show, he took a direct hit from Megatron's arm cannon, didn't even flinch. I mean, it's like you threw a pebble at him. The Bayverse Devastator, on the other hand, had half his face blown off by Mudflap and Skids, pretty much the two worst Transformers I've ever seen, and then, you know, proceeded to destroy a pyramid before getting hit with one shot from a human-made weapon, fell off the pyramid, never to be seen again. So, from a power perspective, G1 Devastator all the way. Posability, G1 Devastator's got joints everywhere. Okay? You can put this guy in so many poses, it's unbelievable. And it's wonderful. I mean, you can really make this guy stand out and look menacing in just about any way you want. Bayverse Devastator, he's got some articulation, you know, here and there. No knee joints to speak of. His shoulders operate like this, as opposed to what you would really think a shoulder would move. He does have elbow joints, no real articulation in the wrists, and the head doesn't move at all. So from a posability standpoint, G1 wins again. Simply from a physically imposing standpoint, I would give it to the Bayverse Devastator, but from a playability and power standpoint, I think it definitely goes to the G1. And there you have it, everyone. That is a comparison between the original 80s cartoon Devastator and the newer Michael Bay version, or the Combiner Wars and the Studio Series, depending on how you want to look at it. Both are excellent figures that would look wonderful in any collection. I am proud to have both of them. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you disagree with me, feel free to leave a comment. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Have a great day.